My next speaker, who I'm super keen to speak to today, is Susan Shatzer. Susan is the founder of the Limitless Life Institute and specializes in helping individuals break free from the shackles of past trauma and limitations. With over 20 years of experience, Susan's transformative approach integrates cutting-edge techniques with ancient wisdom to elevate personal and collective consciousness. At the heart of Susan's work is a commitment to empowering people to unlock their limitless potential, transforming their adversities into strengths. The mission of the Limitless Life Institute is to provide a platform where transformation is not only possible, but inevitable, fostering deep, sustainable change. Susan's guidance inspires a profound journey toward freedom, empowering individuals to lead lives characterized by unbounded joy and fulfillment. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you
Fantastic
so
to have
much,
you.
Jenny. Yay! I am so glad to be here. I have been waiting all week. We just had a hurricane here in Florida, Hurricane Helene.
Another one.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, power, internet, I'm like holding it all together energetically. And here we are today to record this for you and everyone else who gets to hear it in the future.
The last time I spoke to you, there was also a hurricane.
Yes. Yes, this is Florida.
Yeah.
Hurricane season.
Sounds like. Um, Susan, before you get into the nuts and bolts of your talk, why don't you just tell us a little bit about you and how your story, how you came to be doing what you're doing?
I would love to. Thank you so much. It is truly an honor. And I'm so humbled by being invited here to share, something different. And I say different in a different way, because we're all collectively at a place where we're ready to choose something different. Like we've been doing the same thing for a long time. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting a different result. Well, I call it humanity's insanities. Because we're in the thought process of, look, if it's not broken, let's not try and fix it. We may end up breaking it. And it's like we've been doing it this way and it's, worked, sort of, kind of, semi. It's worked. So our parents have been doing it that way and our grandparents and our great grandparents. So like, why change things now? Like let it lie. Someone said to me recently, ignorance is bliss, Susan. And I was like, wow, what a stale, thought process. Like that's old paradigm. So I think these hurricanes, Jenny, are coming in to like eliminate the stagnant old paradigms, the old frequencies.
Bring the energy to the surface to release it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just as a hurricane like transforms the landscape, like we can tap in. Like this was a category 4 here in Florida, like 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, 4 being the next. Category 4 entered here in Florida. And so just catalyzed, on that and pulled that energy in and just allowed everything that no longer served me and all of my clients and everyone in the area, including the state, the land, the planet, like time to go, au revoir. Yeah, so that's what I've been kind of up to, is creating a different possibility for myself and for others. How I got started in this, it was not my idea to do this. You probably have heard this before, but yeah. So I just turned 56. So 56 years ago in 1968, my mom's water broke on August 22nd. I'm not born until September 8th. My whole life has been a running joke. Oh, if anyone's going to be late, it's going to be Susan because she was late to her birth. So my whole life, Jenny, I kept saying, well, it's Susan time. It's got to be. So as time went on, I realized that, I didn't have the veil. I could see the unseen, hear the unheard, I knew the unknown. And it was like not welcome in a Catholic household, in a Catholic community. So it was shut down, put away, stored for later. And as I grew up and moved out and moved down to Florida, like my angelic team started to get more involved in connecting with me and communicating and guiding and, just sort of validating like what I had actually believed since I was a little girl.
Yeah.
So I asked, so my angelic team tapped me on the shoulder and said, hey, you should do the math on that, meaning my birth. And I was like, okay, August 28th, September 8th, or no, August 22nd, September 8th. That's 18 days. 18 days. I have never heard of a baby that was still in utero 18 days after her mom's water broke. I've spoke with doctors about this and they're like, yeah, you should not be here and neither should your mother. Like,
Wow.
it should not be possible. So I'm like, okay, body, thank you. Thank you. Right? Miracle one. So then I got to thinking, well, what was I doing for 18 days? Like just stuck there? Am I
Chilling
coming?
out.
Hanging out inverted,
Chilling.
upside down.
Okay, I'm doing my own thing.
And so I asked him, like, what was I doing? What was going on? And it was like time stopped. I could see every particle in the room, Ginny, and this lucid dream screen drops down. And I'm up there and I'm arguing with God. And I don't know anybody else who's like had it out with the Lord, but I was like, hands down, like not having it. And I just said to him, I go, look, I know the rules up here and I get to choose. And I've seen this lifetime and it's filled with disease, heartache, betrayal, illness, cheating. Like from the minute this body is like, launched out into the world, I'm like, I'm tapping out. It's a hard no for me. Like there has to be somebody else more qualified. And God, just very patiently, I'm all up and up with energy. And he's just like, Susan, it has to be you. And I was like, why? Why does it have to be me? Why can't it be somebody else? And he says, look here. And he opens his arms. And it was like as if he had taken a whole handful of silver glitter and threw it up in the air. And it was all twinkling down in his arms. I'm like, ooh, I'm like, what's that? He goes, those are all the souls waiting for you to get to Earth, for you to support them and help them on their soul's evolution, which is why we incarnate.
Wow.
And those who are incarnating right now are
Mm.
here with a bang, let me tell you, because it is not a fun place to be on Earth. It is not a happy, easy place. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I took my first birth breath and it's been game on ever since. And now, we're launching the Done Differently. I discovered like this new frequency called Done Differently. And then it shifted into a paradigm and now it's into a movement. And I meet with women worldwide
To do things
to create.
differently. And who are
Yes,
game changers, who are doing things differently.
yes,
That's
yes.
beautiful.
Yeah, thank you. And so I've got some hot tips and some practical tools for your audience. Would that be okay if we
That
just drop them?
sounds amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. Very powerful. Wow.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, it's like someone's like, you can't make that up. I was like,
Nope.
yeah, I, I was so not coming. Like I was really like, no, 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 no.
I'm
Mm-mm.
not.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Tapping out, time out. And when you think about it, like it was 18 days on Earth. Can you imagine being in a timeless realm? How long it must have been up there. I think I put up a good fight.
18 days is a long time. Something like that.
Yeah. So some of the things that I'd love to support your
Yeah.
audience with is an empowerment piece. So I'm an energetic empowerment expert. And what does that mean? So I'm able to see your lifeline this way. So when we get together, so I can see yours, Jenny, your lifeline here, and I can see all the way back. No, there's nothing scary. And your soul shows me all the way back to when it first chose to be or do anything, all the way up to the present, and then what's projected for future lifetimes. And then your ancestors show me this way all the limitations, points of view, beliefs, judgments, calculations, computation, decisions that were all passed down to you. And that goes back 15 to 20 generations. And then there's karmic comes in like a tornado. So there's the karmic imprint that comes in that you're playing out in this lifetime to make things right from past lives. And then there's the belief system that you brought in with you from past lives as well that has served you really, like it saved your life, it served you well, but it's no longer required. It's not real, right, or relevant in this lifetime. But because you have it and it's in your field, like attracts like here on planet Earth. And so you attract people, places, things, experiences that match the frequency that you are. And how many of us have been able to figure out how to have a totally abundant, incredibly amazing, grateful life? Like, yeah, not many
Hearing of it
people.
in those terms with all the layers, it's like it makes you either want to just go and hide under a rock or be big and bold and do it all, because there's not really a middle ground when you really break it down in those terms.
Yeah. And we were taught to figure it out. Like
Yeah.
that's how we learned. It's like, look, figure it out, find the right answer, make a good choice. Like you were trained to do that. But what if it has nothing to do with figuring anything out? Because it doesn't. See, everything is energy. Every molecule has consciousness. So when you're in the space of science and awareness, that's where every molecule is consciousness, and you're able to speak to the consciousness of the molecules and create a different possibility. And that's kind of where I'm showing up now. Like this is the new gift to humanity. And I know we were talking before we got on about, like who comes to me? So people who have like a problem, a challenge, like they haven't been able to figure out how to be abundant or joyful or happy or, wealthy or be able to have a secure income stream coming in. It could be any of those or all of them. It could be a solid relationship or, family members, dynamics with family members, and they haven't been able to figure it out because that's what we were taught. And so I would go in and they'll show me exactly what's going on. So as an example, you volunteered to talk about, not being seen. So as I'm looking at your lifetimes, you were seen, you were acknowledged, you were upfront and very visible in a past life, and your life was taken for it. And it was at that time when you were dying that you said, I will always remember this and I will never forget. And since that point, you've never done it again. But what happens is the words never and always, and so this is a tool for your audience, the words never and always, Jenny, are forever words, and we're not taught that. So always and never transcend time. So as we leave our body this lifetime, we go to the next one. Everything that we're always going to remember, we have to recreate. So we always remember it. So here you are in this lifetime, recreating the no seen, not going to be seen, not going to be heard. It's not safe. It's dangerous. I was killed before. I'm always going to remember this. And then the never forget statement is that you have to stick with it the whole lifetime because you're never going to forget it.
The power of words and intention.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like when you say like till death do us part, you don't actually die. You're the being. The body's the one that passes away, not you.
Yeah.
You just start vibrating at a different frequency without the body, which is higher because you're not carrying the molecular physical structure of a body. And it's vibrating at a different frequency. And not a lot of people can see that because you were taught to only see the colors that were in the large crayon box. And anything outside of that, seeing is believing. So if you don't see it, it's not believable. It's not real. Yeah. So that's when those of us who don't have that construct in place are able to go there. So I would love to eliminate this for you. Would you be willing to let this go? The never and always.
Absolutely. Go for it. I'm all in. I'm all in, Susan.
Okay, cool. I'm so excited. I feel like we're playing Texas Hold'em. We're all in. All the chips are in. It's go or win or bust. So we're going to do it with breath. So in a minute, I'm going to have you and everyone else who's watching and listening, both now and in the future, to take a deep breath in. I'm going to call up the energy of what this is. And then I'm going to ask for it to be deleted. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. And on 3, you're going to blow out like really blowing out. And when you blow out anything that matches that, lines and agrees or resists and reacts, has to leave your field, has to leave your body, being, or in reality. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
Okay, buckle up, my friends. We're going for a ride. So take a deep breath in. Nice. Anything that aligns and agrees and resists and reacts to the nevers and always of being seen, being heard, being known. Yes, being found out about, where you've chosen to always remember it and never forget. And it's running in the background in this lifetime. That's not real, right, or relevant. Are you willing? Because we're going to do it now. Destroy and create through all lifetimes, places, spaces, locations, realities, universes, non-universes, parallel universes, multiverses, known and unknown, said and unsaid, acknowledged and unacknowledged. Out on 3, and it must leave. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. How did that feel?
Very empowering and very freeing. And it felt right. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. And what we just did was, everyone's cup is kind of full. Like when people come to me, their cup is full and they've done the self-help and they've tried to figure out, they haven't been able to do it. They've done the seminars, telecalls, conferences, retreats, but their cup is still full. So we just went ahead and we started dumping your cup out. So that block of frequency is no longer a part of your energy field. And when it clears for you, Jenny, it clears for all of your ancestors going up as well. And you also are freeing hundreds of thousands of other people who were helping you hold that in place. So they were the ones that were validating your reality. So they're now free of that as well. And that's been eliminated from their cup.
It's
So cool.
amazing. Thank you.
Congratulations. You're
Thank
very
you.
welcome. You're very welcome. So now is the key. So let's see what shows up next. So you've got to get back with me. You've got to keep in touch, your audience as well. You got to let us know, get back with us, what shows up, what's transpired, what has manifested as if by magic, or what thought processes that you have that have disappeared, that no longer are part of, what you think about. Yeah. All that in a bag of chips, I say.
I'll definitely do that. We'll be in touch.
Awesome. So, because we're talking about words and the meanings of words, I'd love to drop one in for your audience. And this is a practical tip and tool. So we've been taught the word want, W-A-N-T. It's my 4-letter word. Not the curse words, not the swear words, but it's my 4-letter word because it eliminates your choice. And it's one of the biggest limitations that we have. And with humanity, it's even in the face of total awareness and consciousness about it, people still say it unconsciously. That's how deep it is.
Mm.
So the definition was changed on us. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you, so what is your definition of the word want?
Something that you don't have. Now I want to use the word in the definition, which doesn't work, that you want to have something that you're lacking, because the word want implies lack, right? Because it's focusing on the not having, which is what we don't want. So it's the not having and seeking to have that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're taught that that's how you get it. So it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want for your birthday? Where do you want to go to college? What sport do you want to play next year? Like everything is want. What do you want for dinner? And right, like when I start to say it that way, it's like it's in our conversation. Like I'm not sure people can have a conversation without using the word want someplace in it, because we're taught that, how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough?
Yeah.
And, so you've been entrained, and what that does is that creates a neural pathway. So when you hear the word want, you're going, okay, if I want it bad enough, I'm going to get it. If I, how bad do I want it? What am I willing to do to have it? And it also takes place in the future. So if you want something, you can never have it now, because want is lack, less than, and
It's
not enough.
it's perpetuating the not having. It's
Yes.
perpetuating the lack.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is called poverty consciousness.
Mm.
So the top thing that I would recommend is becoming super conscious about what you're saying and what you're thinking, because thoughts create things as well. So be super conscious about what you're thinking about, because what you think about, you talk about, and what you talk about, you bring about. And then get a partner. Tell somebody else that's in your world a lot of the time to call you out on it, and just let them know. And there's people that I've been on the call with who've used it, and then I said, so you really want that? And they're like, I didn't say that. And I was like, I think you did. And they're like, no way, because I know not to say that word. So we stopped the recording, we let it progress, we got back up, we played it, and they were like, you're right. Even in the face of total awareness, it still happens, because
Wow.
every molecule is energy, and that includes our thoughts, our feelings, and our emotions. And so that's what the universe is like. Okay, you lack a new job, you lack a new car, you lack a place to live, you lack, income, money flows, you lack the relationship that you've been looking for. So here's more of that. So the universe, God, source goes in, is like, okay, well, here's more lack, because that's what you're asking for when you're asking for wanting something else. It's so profound. It is. It's truly magical. Yeah. Like, so along the lines of words, our thoughts are emotional frequencies as well. And taking a look at that, I was sort of at the beginning of the year asking, like, how could I be the greatest contribution to humanity? Like, what are they ready for? What would like to show up? And I was shown the difference between gratitude and gratefulness. And gratitude comes with, surprisingly, obligation and responsibility. It's not choice. And with gratitude, I mean, that's what the whole thing is about, like gratitude journal and gratitude this, gratitude that, and show your
Can you
gratitude and gratitude.
explain that a little, that it comes with obligation? Like
Yes.
what exactly you mean?
So you're taught as a little kid, hey, did you say thank you? That's gratitude.
Uh,
Did you use your words? Have you called grandma and thanked her for the gift? Did you call your school? Did you write a thank you note? Did you tell your professor? Whatever it happens to be. So you're taught that you have to do it. It's the right thing to do. You're irresponsible, or you're not grateful if you don't show your gratefulness. You know what I mean? Like, there's this whole wonkiness with the energy, because it comes with obligation. Like, you're supposed to do that. You have to do that. Like, if you want to be known as a good kid, a good student, a good grandson, you're going to acknowledge somebody else's efforts to remember you. Yeah. Do you get that? Like, all of a sudden it's
yeah.
like, wow.
But
Yeah.
isn't a lot of it your intention? So no matter whether you're using the word gratitude or gratefulness, if you're feeling it in a really pure way, isn't that okay and enough? Because it's such a powerful frequency. So
So
I
let's take a look
understand,
at it.
I understand the power of words and that it's really important, but I'm also thinking in this case, isn't a lot of it your own intention and how it shows up for you?
So let's take a look at that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
gratitude is an action you have to do to be. We're not human doings, we're human beings.
Yeah.
So when you are grateful, you are being the frequency of gratefulness. And it's a visceral,
So you could
energetic,
be
vibrational,
grateful, but you can't be gratitude. Yeah,
right?
makes sense. Okay.
Gratitude is a doing, is an action.
Right.
Being grateful is who we are.
Yeah.
We are beings, and we have the frequency of gratefulness. And when you are grateful, there's no, you don't look for anything in return. There's no hook. There's no line. There's no sinker. There's no expectation of
This
anything. You
is
are just
the
showing,
pure.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yeah. And it's huge because it's a game changer. When you switch up from teaching your children gratitude versus gratefulness, it's a different way of being in the world. It's a different way of being with people. And when you are that difference, they're able to then show up without judgment. They're able to show up as their authentic self, and they're able to show up with their full potential in place. Versus gratitude is like form, structure, significance, be in the box. This reality says your parents expect. And can you feel how heavy that is?
Yeah.
Like, and
Especially when you say it like that.
yes, that's the frequency of it, though. You know what I mean? And it's like, it takes so much energy to hold that in place. Like, oh my goodness. Like, it takes a lot of energy to hold that whole system in place versus us just being grateful. It's a beautiful thing, like completely different way of being
I think
with
so many structures are being released right now that, and so many of them we weren't even aware of consciously, and they're just falling by the wayside at such a pace. It's amazing to see and to be part of this.
yeah, so this is how the done differently frequency is showing up. It's like revealing to us that there's different ways of doing what we've been doing that are faster, quicker, easier, with way more joy. You know what I mean? Like when you're told you have to do something, how many people really would like to do that? Versus you get to be grateful. You know what I mean? And that's just like this pure love, like heart to heart with people. Like there's no obligation, responsibility. And it's this like, it's just two people being able to share like
Mm.
gratefulness with each other. And that, when you look at the chart, there's an emotional chart that you can Google.
Yeah.
And so at the bottom is death, and at the top is enlightenment. Well, the very top is like, I don't know, 10,000, 1,000, something like that, hertz frequencies. And that's God's consciousness. And just below that is thankfulness, gratefulness, enlightenment, bliss, joy. And then everything else comes below that. So knowing that that's the highest frequency that you can be, and like attracts like,
No
there's the key
brainer.
to the kingdom.
Yeah.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
So even in the face, so we had like a category 4 hurricane here yesterday. And the hurricane comes with fear, angst, anxiety, pain, stress. Like there's a lot of stuff that gets placed in with a hurricane. And I was looking at that energy that like the public was being, that the newscast, the forecasters, the weather channels were being. And what that was creating was this like loop of you've got to be safe, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's actually telling you what to do, how to do it, and you're not actually in the question.
Yeah.
So that's another hot tip for your audience, is to be in the question of, okay, truth, if I stay here, am I safe? Meaning the body. So truth body, if we stay, are we safe? Truth body, if we go, are we safe? Excuse me. So I'm here in the Daytona Beach, New Smyrna Beach area, and this happens to be the shark capital of the world. So when I go
Got
in
all
the
the
ocean,
stuff. You got all the stuff happening there.
dude, like, and it's like, why would you pick there? I'm like, well, the energy is pretty phenomenal here, and there is, I am here for a purpose, a reason. Like I'm holding in a certain frequency here on this ley line of the earth. Like there's a pillar of power I'm like invoking. Anyways, that's another That's another retreat. That's another online
I
virtual
love
summit.
ley lines. It's such a powerful topic. Yeah.
Yes,
And there's some
yeah,
beautiful portals
yes.
here as well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Even
The one in Florida is in Sarasota. Yes.
yeah.
So they've tried to use the hurricanes to like take that out, and yeah, it didn't quite work. There was enough of us barrier people that were like,
Holding it.
yeah, yeah, doing our thing, doing our stuff with our things. As my dad would say, it's the hocus pocus that Susan does.
Susan,
Yeah,
it has
love it.
been amazing talking to you. Um, I believe you have a free gift for our audience. Could you tell us, we've got a couple minutes, could you tell us a little bit about your free gift?
I would love to. So taking a look at gratefulness, I've created a journal, and there's power cards, and they look at and speak to you using the 5-minute journaling technique that Oprah, Tony Robbins, like a lot of the movie stars use. In fact, when I teach it, we do 30 seconds. So you can actually answer the questions in 30 seconds or less. And it's surprising because when I hit the 30 seconds and say go, they're done before the 30. And I ask them, I'm like, oh, how much more time? How many people were done before the 30 seconds was up? And like they almost all raised their hands. So it's like it's not the construct that you think it is. But the questions in there are transformational. So they're going to bring you to a place and a frequency that's going to supersede what you've known as being true for you your whole life.
That sounds beautiful and amazing. Can't wait to download that. The link will be below here, so take advantage of that, everybody. Really beautiful. Thank you, Susan. And just before you go, have you got a little gem or word of wisdom you'd like to drop at the end or leave our audience with?
Yeah, I would love to. So um, I would say that you've never done anything wrong, and that you've actually created your reality. It hasn't happened to you, but you've been taught it has. So we should have a conversation on taking a look at that so you can be empowered to have a different possibility in your life.
For you, not to you. That's beautiful. Thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you today.
Thank you for having me,
Thank
Jenny.
you.